Good day, viewers at home. This is another lesson on algebraic expressions. This one is on factorization. Factorization, that is bringing out common factors of two or three or more terms. When you have an algebraic expression like this and you are asked to factorize, you simply look for what is common to the two terms. This is a term, this is another term. So we look for what is common to this term and this other term. We'll start with the figures. 2 and 3. Do they have any common factor? Any number that will divide 2 and also divide 3. They don't have any common factor. So that means 2 and 3 are not factorizable. Now, we will now pick the variables one after the other. There is x at this side. There is no x at this other side. That means x is not common. We are not going to factorize x. There is y here and there is y here too. So that means we can factorize y out. There is z in this side, but it is not in this side. So that means we can't touch that one. The only one that is common to both this and this term is y. So if you take y out, this one will remain 2x squared. Then we have 3. Remember, y is squared here. So since one of them is outside already, it will remain 1 in the bracket. Then you now attach your z. It's very simple. When you have y raised to power 1, y raised to power 2, the one you factorize out is the one with the smaller power. If you have y raised to power 4, y raised to power 6, you are going to factorize y raised to power 4 out. You factorize the lesser one. So with this now we have factorized this expression because this and this don't have anything in common. Now let's take the second example. 6 and 8. What is the highest common factor of 6 and 8? That is the highest number that can divide 6 and also divide 8. That is 2. 2 is common to 6 and 8. So we'll bring that 2 out. We have x here, we also have x here. Here it is squared, here it is raised to power 1. So we'll pick the one that is raised to power 1. There is y here and there is no y here, so we can't pick y. We have z here, we also have it here. That means we can pick the one that is of lesser power. So you now open your bracket. Now, 2 in 6 is 3. The numbers will divide each other. That is 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now, there is one x outside already. And here we have x squared. That means we will be...
Yeah,
Now, so we have x outside, raised to power 1. And the x we have here is raised to power 2. That means we still have another 1 in the bracket. Then y. Y is not outside yet, so that means y will still appear in this case. We already have z here, so that means there is no other one in this side. Then the same thing here. 8 divided by 2, 4. We have x here. Then the x here is raised to power 1, so that means there is no need for us to put another x in this place since it's already outside. Now this z, 1 is outside already out of these 2, so we'll be left with only 1 in the bracket. So you always have to make sure that when you factorize, whatever you have in the bracket must not have common factors. The two terms in the bracket must not have anything in common. That is how you factorize completely. Now, look at this. Minus 4ab squared d minus 12d squared ac. This is a negative sign outside. You bring out the negative sign. 4 and 12. What is the highest common factor? 4 and 12. 2 can divide both of them. 4 can also divide both of them. So we are picking 4 because it is bigger than 2. So 4 is the highest common factor of 4 and 12. There is a here, raised to power 1. There is a here, raised to power 1. So we'll pick a. We have b squared here, but there is no b in this side, so we can't use b. There is d here, raised to power 1. There is d here, raised to power 2. We will pick that one that is raised to power 1. So now we open our bracket. Since our negative sign is outside already, this here becomes positive. 4 divided by 4 is 1. A is already outside. So we are left with b squared now, because there's no b squared here. D is already here. So we are left with only b squared. Now this negative sign will be affected by this one that is outside. So this one will become positive because we have factorized minus out. Now 12 divided by 4 is 3. A is already here, so there's no point writing another A. D is raised to power 2, and we have one of them outside, so D will remain 1. Then we'll be left with C too, because there's no C outside, so that C should be there. So this is b squared plus 3dc. We can see that these two terms don't have anything in common. Let's check the last example here. 8 and 12. Their highest common factor is 4. 4 is the biggest number that can divide both 8 and 12. So we take 4. A raised to power 1, A raised to power 2. A is common. We take raised to power 1. B raised to power 2, B raised to power 1. That means B is also common. C raised to power 1, C raised to power 2. C is also common. And then D raised to power 3, D raised to power 1. D is common. Open the bracket. 8 divided by 4 is 2. We have A here, and A is already outside, so that means there won't be another A here. B is raised to power 2, and what we have here is raised to power 1. That means we'll be left with one more B. C is already outside. Now D is raised to power 3, and we have D raised to power 1 outside. So that means inside here we still have D raised to power 2. See, this is 1, this is 2, making 3. Minus 12 divided by 4 is 3. This is A. That is 1 out of these 2. So we are left with another 1 here. B. 1 is already outside, and this is 1 raised to power 1. So we won't write B again. C squared. This is 1C. So we'll be left with another C. D is raised to power 1, and D here is also raised to power 1. So that means there won't be another D in the bracket. So we have 4ABCD bracket 2BD squared minus 3AC. So always check what you have in the bracket to make sure that what you have doesn't have common factors. With that, that means you have factorized the expression completely. Thank you.